gift is a seed. You can easily be the change that we need. Keep your mind alert and your heart with peace. Be the change that we want to see. Yeah, don't share your gift. Yeah, your gift is a seed. You can easily be the change that we need. Keep your mind alert and fill your heart with peace. Be the change that we want to see.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of Mentality Unchained. I got my crew with me today. I'm your neighborhood therapist, Dr. Kevin Thomas. We're talking about Love Balance 2. If you were with us last time, we had a ball, but just wait. This time it's going to be even fire, right?
Right.
That's right. See, they're already loose already, so we're going to go ahead and get this thing kicked off. So before we do get kicked off, though, let's talk about last time. Like, how did everybody feel coming away from the last episode? I'm, like, curious of what y'all took away. How'd y'all deal with some of the things we talked about? Did y'all talk about it for, like, a week like we did? What did y'all do?
We enjoyed it, and we look forward to the next one.
Oh, okay. So you didn't get on Henry? You like, you know?
Not particularly. No.
Gotcha. Anybody else?
I left with a different perspective on how to handle things differently when I'm dealing with my wife.
Things differently when you would, okay.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
For me, it was very energetic. I'm usually a shy person until I warm up, but I thought it was amazingly dope. We still talk about it.
That's what's up.
The takeaway, and just that, you know, from the different perspectives of other couples, that no couple is perfect.
Yeah.
And we all do what works for us.
Yeah. Gotcha. Anybody else?
I think it was awesome. I think that from our perspective, we're not around a lot of couples, so it's awesome it was great to just sit in a setting, a similar setting, a familiar setting with a lot of love and seeing people love each other, and so I enjoyed it.
All right. What you take away from it, Tina?
I don't know yet.
I will say I enjoy just seeing the couples come together, right? Especially the men. Like, you guys open up. You guys talked about things that we don't talk about outwardly, publicly. You know, we might talk about it together, but we don't talk about it in public. So it was really refreshing to see strong men talk about their emotions, talk about some of the things, and even Sister Kishana pulled Henry out a little bit and was talking to, kind of addressed him and confronted him about some of the things, and which was really, really cool to see how he talked about how he's seeing the situation or the relationship. You know, Henry, I mean, just go ahead and say a little bit about that, because I want you to kind of enlighten the people about some of the things that you talked about.
Refresh my memory.
The one up.
I'm gonna say the wrong thing.
Right. You know,
A lot, so I gotta-
how you perceived and how you seen your wife as the op.
Oh, yeah. She definitely was the ops. I'm much better. I mean, it's just getting married and having that mentality. It was like, you know, when you had that mentality, you have to learn. Like, I didn't have my parents got divorced when I was 6, so I didn't have any role models of healthy relationships for us to look up to. So first time we got in a fight, first few times we got in a fight, it was like, yo, this is how we handle beef in the street. And then, you know, I had to learn that, like, it's not beef, you can't beef with your wife. Like, you're working through learning to communicate.
Yeah.
And I had to learn that it's not beef, it's not the street, she's not my enemy, she's not the ops, you know, sometimes. But most times, most times we are good. There was just one time I'll tell y'all about later. But other than that, she not, you know, and I had to learn that, you know, and it's good to be able to share that, you know, that experience, because that's real. Like, I had to learn that, like, can't cold shoulder, not talk, stonewall, just, you know, cut off completely. You can't do that in marriage. You gotta learn to communicate and express, like, where you at, where they at, and then find some common ground. So.
Yeah, that was real talk though. Mine was one of my favorites on the first episode, and he talked about him crying and how he really knew he had the one for him. Like, and I think a lot of times as men, when we get the one, we really don't know how to handle that. And so it's kind of like we're really careful. It's like a new baby, right? You don't want to mess it up because we know to mess things up. All right, we mess things up. And so when Mon talked about, him just crying and really know he had a queen, that was deep. Nah,
No warning, no nothing. Huh?
It's all love.
Yeah. I mean, like,
It's real though.
yeah. I was gonna say recap that a little bit, man.
Shoot, that's every day. It's real.
Yeah.
That's basically what you can put it. Hey man, we all grown. We all cry.
Yeah.
You cry about things that you love. You cry about things that hurt. You cry. You sit a bit, hold it in. Man, somebody gonna bust your bubble.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna squeeze you real good, and you.
Yeah.
Man, I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze myself. Let it come on out.
Right. That's what's up. So we gonna go ahead and jump into our second episode here, and this first part here is really for us to really talk about our significant others in a way that we can identify or help them identify with some of the things that they need to do to get better. So this is the 5x5. Now we're not doing this again, but this is the 5x5 connection challenge. I need all the wives, the ladies, to take the whiteboard, please. All the ladies. So what I need you ladies to do, this is by way of self-care, right? Write down 5 activities that you think self-care for your partner personally that he should do to recharge, relax, or find something to make him happy. Did y'all understand that?
Yes.
Write down 5 activities that you think represent self-care for your partner personally. These should be activities that you believe recharge, relax, or make your mate happy, your partner happy when he's alone. So women, ladies, wives, as you guys are writing that down, I want the men to think about something here. As your wives and significant others are writing these things down, I want you to get in your mind. You keep writing. Don't listen. You write. So you don't stop and like, okay, I want to see what you're gonna say. No. But you think about what you deem that is relaxing for you, because they're gonna come up with something totally different. And I'm just curious to see your reactions as they do this. So Calvin,
You said activities.
yes, activities. Self-care now. We talk by way of self-care. Here, it's up there, right up there. Everything's right there. All right. So Calvin, as they're writing, like, man, what was your thoughts about how the men connected last time? How we talked publicly with the things that we talked privately. How did you feel? Did you feel vulnerable? Did you feel uncomfortable? How did you feel?
No, I felt like I was around real people.
Yeah.
That were willing to, just divulge, some of their secrets behind the closed doors, and I was able to relate to some of the things, and some of the things I were able to take away from what they said to where it helped me in my personal relationship. So, yeah, it was awesome from a growth standpoint.
Yeah. I think too, one thing that I will say off the bat is like these episodes, these conversation is about couples that are presenting healthy, not perfect. We're not perfect. None of us are perfect in our relationship. But what's healthy for you? Like what makes your relationship, what makes your marriage healthy? And just because you don't agree with the laundry doesn't make it a bad marriage. We're not gonna throw it away because you didn't put your clothes away, you didn't pick your clothes up off the floor. We're gonna talk through these things. We're gonna communicate effectively, and so we want to make sure that we understand that this is healthy relationships, not perfect relationships. All right, ladies, y'all ready?
Yes.
All right. Who wants to start? Miss Wanda, go ahead and start.
Well, the activity part threw me because I wrote down real quick until I think, oh, that's not an activity.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what I put down.
What'd you put down?
Well, I put down rest because he never rests.
Okay.
I feel like he really needs to rest.
Okay.
Lift weights because he loved doing that, and that helps him.
But he doesn't do it enough.
Right.
Okay,
He
gotcha.
doesn't do it enough.
Okay.
I got to cross this one out. Read the word.
Because he do it all the time, right?
Do it all the time.
Okay.
Word games. I think that would be good for him. He's a word man.
Okay.
And I think the word games would really just expand his territory. I mean, his thoughts.
Okay.
Play basketball because he enjoys playing basketball, but he don't do it enough.
Wow. That's deep. How you feel about that, Wayne?
I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think one of the things that I fight for a lot is I like quiet. I like quiet time. You know, quiet time is big for me. You know, just the peace, the tranquility, the calm. Quiet time is like that's what I strive for.
We don't have a lake, else I would say go to the lake.
Go to the lake? Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think quiet time is important, man. I love quiet time. It's like you get a chance to think, sit with your thoughts. A lot of people are afraid to sit with their thoughts. Like, what's going to come out if you sit with yourself? Like, what are you really afraid of? Like, stuff that you haven't addressed, stuff that you haven't, you covered it and masked it with all of the other outside distractions. You know, so, you know, being able to sit with yourself is huge, is huge. Go ahead, Ms. Keyshawn. You looking like you ready to go. What you got?
So I put video games, playing on his phone or the VR, all in the same. Reading, doesn't matter what. Watching TV, listening to a podcast, or maybe listening to a lecture by the minister.
Gotcha.
And exercise.
Gotcha. Why did you pick those? Why did you choose those 5?
Because I don't know. Reading, he reads a lot. He reads all the time. He's always got a book somewhere. And it kind of, all of these things kind of takes his mind off of the work, if you will.
Yeah.
And I chose exercise because right now he's on a journey personally to lose weight. So,
Okay.
and I know that that's like a thing for him.
I got you.
Exercise and doing 100 push-ups and all that nonsense. So.
She said 100 and push up and all that nonsense. But that's what you want him to do, the nonsense, though. I hear you. What you got, Mom? Netta?
Rest, relax.
Okay.
To me, that is top tier. Over the years, he has mellowed down some, but he needs to know when to relax.
Y'all killing me, man.
Relax, relate, and relax.
Okay.
That's just top tier for me.
That's top tier for you.
Exercise, walking. He loves to walk. Exercise. He does it often. A lot of times he's waiting for me to get off of work to do it with him. He loves a good movie. He likes to relax. When he does relax.
Yeah.
A good movie, something that'll make him laugh. He is into all the old vintage stuff. So,
Okay.
you know, old stuff, if that's what makes his day. And then rubbing my feet. I say this because I don't know if I can say this on the podcast.
Say it.
I'm gonna just say it. So we have this thing with Vaseline, and so I created this term that I was like, yo, we're getting ready to have a threesome. And he's like, what? I said, me, you, and the Vaseline.
Okay.
So when I get in the bed and uncharged from just the day, if he dozing off, he needs to wake up because he know what time it is. But I only say that because he enjoys it and it puts him to sleep. So
Okay. All right.
so rubbing my feet from that perspective.
I got you. Mine like what is that? Mine like man. Look. If you a high yellow right now, your cheeks will be red. Yeah. Okay, I appreciate that, Miss Aisha. What you got?
I put workout because I'm big on like letting him know like health is wealth. I want my husband, I tell him all the time, like I want you to be around forever. It's your responsibility to be around forever for me and the kids, and I want you to outlive me because I ain't doing this by myself.
Ooh, that's huge, man. Wow.
And so when he was working out for a while, he enjoyed it. So I said that. I also said vacation without me once per year.
I like
because
that.
he has a friend group, but they don't do nothing. And I vacation with my sisters. My sister, I take a yearly trip with my sisters, without my husband, without my children. And when I get back, although I miss you, when I get back, I feel so recharged and like ready to do another year.
Yeah.
And so I think he would really enjoy that with his friend group. So I said, and because he loves the vacation as well.
Gotcha.
Then I said, talk to someone outside of me, because of course I love you talking to me, but like you don't talk to me about
You going into too much detail. Just say what you're gonna say, girl. Anthony, you can't tell her what to say. Yeah, I know.
Well, I'm saying that because like typically like you don't talk to me about me. You know what I mean? And so and then even about the children, we may not agree on something. So for you to have a safe space outside of me, I think is needed. Cause I got one.
Yeah.
I have sisters, so I also said take our son to more sporting events. They both like basketball. They both love football, different things like that. So I think that him doing that without myself and my daughter, just them two bonding time would be nice. And then lastly, I said boxing because you've been talking about it for 10 years. So that's why I said that.
Wow, thank you. We're going to skip Tina, but we're going to keep going.
He's not ready.
Look, y'all got to know. Look, if when I give my wife an opportunity to say anything about me, I'm always hesitant because I just don't know what she gonna say. When I tell you I don't know what she gonna say, I don't know what she gonna say.
So we saving the best for last.
No. If I had it my way, we wouldn't do it. But go ahead. See. All right. Sleep.
Number one is sleep.
Okay.
Relax.
That's common.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just finished his doctoral, and it's literally like a book. And he talks to me like this. I agree, yeah, sure. And even though he's done, he's still doing it. So he's still working. I said pedicure, so that helps you relax. Work out. Shop for yourself. And hang more with his new bros.
Okay, all right. That's not too bad. Woo! Man, y'all know. Look, if you can see the little baby inside of me, he jumping all around. Like, what is she about to say? But the common theme is rest. Like, fellas, y'all hear that, right? Like, our ladies are looking for us to take time for us. And I think it's hard, though. Like, y'all help me out. I think it's hard when we have so many responsibilities. Even when people think, oh, you can just take a break or you done working for the day, leave a job there. It still feels like we have work to do. It's never finished. Now, I do agree that we need to take more time, but it's hard. Like, Anthony, what do you think about, what your wife asks you to do?
I think it's all cool, but to touch on what everybody else said, I would like rest too.
Mm-hmm.
Some time to read, write, reflect. That's what really brings me to my core. Let me sit down and figure this out, write it down, or just to reflect.
Yeah.
Just a little time to reflect would be okay with me. Everything else she said was cool too.
Yeah.
Because that's extramural for me. But just to sit down and really break myself down and sit down and write, reflect.
Yeah.
That'll be amazing.
Yeah. Oh, who did I miss? Oh, Mon.
No.
Calvin? Yeah. Did I miss you, Calvin? You just sitting over there smiling? Like, oh, yeah, we good. We good. Diamond, what you got? What you got, Diamond?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I don't feel no type of way that you forgot it.
I'll make it up to you. I'll make it up to y'all.
Say that.
I'll make it up to y'all. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Okay, so for my husband, what I feel like what represents his self-care is praying.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely that's like holy grail. Bonding with the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And watching his favorite team play or movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then play his spades game. I only have 4. Only reason why is because like my husband is simple. So we got a camera in our living room to where when I'm away from him, I just tap in to see what he's doing. And either he's playing his spades game, he's watching his favorite team, or he's playing with the dogs. Now I don't know if he's praying. He can just be praying, and I don't know that he's praying. But yeah, those are the things that I see that he do, and I'm like, okay, he at peace.
Yeah. I suspect that's from having a difficult life upbringing, you know, because I think that's true too to all of us men. Like we've been in some situations growing up, dealing with certain things growing up, and now at your age, you just kind of want to just chill out, right? You know, and I'm with Anthony too. Like I want to chill, I want to take some time. I had an ear infection at the beginning of the week, and my wife, I was getting up to go to work. She's like, "Get back in the bed," and I was like, I can't afford, and I would just name it. I got this, I got this, but that's the way we are wired. You're gonna push through it, right? It is embedded in us, but I do think we do need self-care. But I'm just saying, like, I'm being honest. As much as I want to say, I would love to just sit and collect my thoughts and just relax, and because when I sit and do nothing, I do nothing. Like really, literally do nothing. But we can't afford to sometimes, and that's not good for us, especially as black men. High blood pressure, diabetes, all these things. It just doesn't bode well for us. So we want to definitely try to rein that in as much as possible. Anybody else had any comments? Yes, sir. William, what you got, William?
Oh yeah. It's a piggyback what you said. Like it's hard for me. I ain't gonna lie. It's hard for me just to sit. Because for me, I have strict expectations. I need to get things done. I got a list. I need to get it done. I don't care if anybody says I need to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times too is like my wife tells me all the time, like, you need to rest. You need to sit down.
Mm-hmm.
Like you doing too much.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, I hate that word.
Right. I hate it too. But at the same time, I understand where she's coming from because like I got a million things I want to get done in a day.
Yeah.
And I don't get it done, I get frustrated with myself.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get frustrated with myself, then I was like, man, I gotta put this off for tomorrow. And I got many other things I gotta do.
Mm-hmm.
So like for me, it's like I have a strict schedule, a strict expectation, but my wife has to literally have to remind me, sit your butt down and do nothing, or just play video games or watch a video or something. Because I do a lot around the house, but that's just how I'm wired. I need to get it done.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing that, Will. I have an anxiety of getting behind. When I say getting behind, like if I take a week off for vacation, because if I'm gonna take off, I'm gonna take off. But when I come back and you see all those emails, you want to take another vacation. So it's hard though. So in the context of still sitting around, taking a break, you may get behind in some stuff or that you really need to get done. And it's just overwhelming to go back and say, you know what, I got to pick up this. Now you're walking around, you're pacing the floor like, man, I really don't want to. And then you sitting down, you get back up again. You're like, man, I don't want to do this. So it's really like, for me, it's anxiety for me to just even take the time. And so it's that ain't healthy either.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I'll say the only thing I add brief is for me, I realized at a certain point that I had to start, like we have cutoff times. I think I learned this in therapy. Like I have a cutoff time because if I leave it up to my wife, we'll be working. It'll be 2:00 in the morning. We gotta get up at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, and it's like, but we got all these things that didn't get done. And at a certain point, I just realized like we was just exhausted, and then there's a lot of people that lean on us, that depend on us for all kind of stuff. And I was like, we can't, like, we're gonna be dead in a year, like burning out. That's great.
Yeah.
So I was like, at a certain point, we just learned in therapy, like we just had to cut off, like because if you don't cut off, you're never gonna get all the work done. Because if you could look at the list, like there's always gonna be stuff added to the list. And it's, for me, I just had to be like, if you call my phone past this time, I'll answer you tomorrow.
Yeah.
If you send it, well, hell. send an email, I'll probably never get it. My wife will get it, but I get it.
Yeah.
But, like certain stuff, like I just at a certain point in time, like no, this time is for us, and then we had to find time to like this has to be our time.
Yeah.
Like as a couple,
Yeah.
even if it's just watching a movie,
Yeah.
even if it's just laying in bed cuddling before we go to bed at night. She want her feet rubbed, you know.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know what I'm saying. But I had to find that time. Otherwise, it's like if we work for the world, then we just gonna be burnt out every single day. And that's something I had to learn how to do. Because I'll work. If you give me the work, I'll work.
Right.
It never stops. So.
Yeah.
Can I say something to you?
Yes.
I don't want to like take on the black men's shine at this moment, but I think that what you're describing is something that both genders, both sexes kind of deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Because like black women take on the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, y'all are super women.
Take on everything.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for us also to find time for ourselves. But what I want to say to that is, yes, I would be working at 2 o'clock in the morning, right? But it's been helpful in the last couple of years having my partner be dependable. If I can depend on my partner to help in some shape, way, or form, then that helps put my mind at ease. Now I can rest.
Wow.
So, like brother said, if you need time to write, it would be nice. Your wife might not be able to physically change the oil, but if the oil got to get changed, and she's like, you know what, baby, I'll go run and get it changed. You sit down and write. Like now you can actually
Do something else.
Do something else. That's something that now you can. That's off your plate. That's off your mind.
Yeah.
She might not be able to write your dissertation
Yeah.
for you, but maybe she can put the slides together for this event
Yeah.
for you, for your review later
Yeah.
on in the week. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that's literally one less thing you have to do. So I think, I think it's important for us to take care of ourselves, but I also think it's important for us to consider, like, there's going to be this up and down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When the weight is heavy on me, can I depend on you? When it's heavy on him, can he depend on me in our relationship?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that's important.
Thank you.
Love balance? Ooh.
Play on words.
I mean, I think in totality, I think each one of us in relationships, we have to give ourselves some grace. And I think sometimes we're just so hard, like this brother said about deadlines. If he don't meet the deadline, I used to be that way. I found my peace in saying, if I don't get to it today, it'll be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I found out just over time that works.
Yeah.
Just give yourself a little grace in whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know, the emails. Oh well, if they're overwhelmed, I get anxiety if I see 15 text messages
Right.
that I didn't respond. Oh well,
Yeah.
I'll get to it tomorrow. If it's an emergency, they'll get in contact with me. But I think when we give ourselves that grace and pull away from the world that's just so busy and pulling at us, it gives us that sense of peace.
Yeah.
So we don't have to respond to everything right away.
Right.
Just,
Right.
for me, it worked for me. I found peace in doing that. Just not responding quickly to this and to that.
Right. Thank you for sharing that. I will say this, in all honesty, is that Sister Kishana brought up that you women have these weights as well, right? And I will say it appears that you guys are like superwoman. Like you guys really have shoulders of steel, because my wife really keeps everything in order. You know, I can run, I can do this, I can do that, I can do that, because she keeps everything else where it needs to be. And I think that's what I'm hearing too, is that, you know, you guys are really want us to rest, but you guys allow us by default to run like we run, because you take care of everything else. And it's so much easier for us to do that. Now, think about it if we were single fathers and we were taking care of our kids and we had to do it all. But you guys take that load off of us to be able to have to do that. You know, I know my wife deals with my kids a lot more now than I do. I'm always busy. And so to have something like that, someone like that, and I tell people this, and I'm honest with it too. And I love the way my wife loves me, you know, because she makes sure that I'm okay. And even when I'm not okay, she still makes sure that I'm okay. You know, and so I think that's the biggest thing to take away from this. Even though we do run, even though we do need rest, you guys really give us an opportunity and ability to do that. And so the hats off to you guys for that, but you still need some rest too. I wish she could change some oil, Kishana.
I believe.
That ain't happen. So and by way of that, let's go to our next question. Ladies, grab your whiteboards again. So let's talk about us care, right? We just talked about what y'all thought we need to do. Let's talk about us as a whole. So list 5 activities that you consider as nurturing for your relationship. These are things you love to do together as a couple to strengthen your bond, and enjoy each other's company. Yeah. This is us care now. Think about this us care. It's up on the screen too. It's up on the screen. So men, as they continue to write again, I want you guys to reflect a little bit on your relationship. Wayne, anything. When you think about your relationship, what do you think about? What's the first thing come to your mind?
First thing that comes to mind, that how we communicate. I would say we communicate great together.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big factor in our relationship. Is that she's gonna speak her mind, I'm gonna speak mine, and we can talk about anything.
Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah, and it's like there's no level of offenses that come up when we have conversation. You know, she wants to know and I want to know. You know, and I think when we talk a lot of time, and then we end up when we get into real in-depth conversation, it's like we can reach a point where we find humor in it.
Yeah.
You know, to the fact that, man, I think that's really deep.
Yeah.
Know? You know, you felt that way, you know, or you know, just the way you view me, or the way she view me, or the way that I view her.
Right.
And I love that about us because it's a liberty that we have in communication.
Yeah.
I love it.
I will say to that, this is one of the things that I always tell my couples too, is that effective communication is when one speaks, the other one listens. And as that person is listening, you're actually internalizing, and then you respond when it's appropriate. A lot of times in couples, and more so in black couples, is that you speak at me and I don't listen to you. Well, we don't have a balance. We don't have healthy communication, and there's a communication gap. And so what has to happen is it has to be a level of respect. I respect you enough to listen to what you have to say, and you respect me enough to listen to what I have to say. If we don't agree, we figure that out. But that's not, we just don't not have that conversation. And I think that's a bigger thing that I run into often, is that I can't say what I really feel because I'm afraid of what you're going to say. You can't, that's not effective communication. If you can't say what you think you want to say or what you feel that you should say, then you're in a real strained marriage or relationship at that point, because you have to have effective communication in order to make that thing work.
I oftentimes say that listening is an art form.
Yeah.
Listening, talk, everybody can talk.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can talk.
Right.
But listening is an art form.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you always want to be on the side of sharpening the art of listening.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to your significant other or your spouse.
Right.
You know, to be able to listen, because you know I can be in a setting where I don't even know people, and somebody would sit beside me and they would tell me their whole life story.
Yeah.
And this happens all the time, and I'm just, because I'm a listener.
Mm-hmm.
I just listen, and then they'll make a statement like, you know what? I feel so much better. Thank you for just listening. I ain't even say nothing.
Yeah.
Just listen, you know. So listening is an art form.
Yeah. What you got, Calvin? I seen you wanted to say something.
Honestly speaking, that was one of those things that plagued me. I talk a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And when me and my wife having a conversation, you know, I used to have it bad to where I'll cut her off, you know, just to get my thought across, because I'll be feeling like I'm reading her mind,
yeah,
what she's gonna say, and say what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
And you know, through counseling and just me and her having conversations behind the scenes, I learned to take my time and, you know, just really listen to her. I'm not where I used to be, but at times, you know, I still struggle with it. But,
okay.
You know, I'm becoming better.
Okay, that's important. You say that you becoming better. You know, you still struggle with it, instead of saying, "Oh, I got it. Yeah, I'm good." You actually say, "I'm still struggling with it," and I'm getting better.
Yeah.
What do you think in your mind? What do you think will help you get even better?
Well, different steps we've both been taking.
Mhm.
Just like you said, in order to have a conversation, right? You know what I'm saying? You both got to listen, right? And sometimes I feel like she ain't listening.
Mhm.
And you know, I'll be holding these thoughts in my head, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes that stuff will grow until when
Yeah.
you will get to a point to where you're shut down.
Yeah.
And you already know how you're gonna respond, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's premeditated,
Yeah.
based off of priors.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So when you're living off that type of trauma,
Mhm,
whatever,
mhm.
you know, you give yourself reason and validations to do it. But you know, it doesn't lead to a great place. It actually harms you mentally and your stress levels. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
So I seen that it wasn't getting us nowhere. So it was like, you know what I learned to do is, even if I feel like I'm right, I still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 Know, I give her the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I let her keep going and get it off her chest. You know what I'm saying? And then I chime in.
Yeah.
And I found that, this is more peaceful.
Yeah.
You know, because now
Woo.
I can respond better.
Yeah, yeah. Mon, I want you to chime in after I say what I'm going to say. Two things that kill a relationship is assumptions and internal dialogue. You cannot have a conversation with yourself and assume what your spouse or your significant other is feeling or going through. It's not fair to her, and it's definitely not fair to you, because at the end of the day, we want clarification, right? If I'm having a conversation with my wife, I'm asking her questions and I'm saying things to get clarification because I don't understand it. But when I shut that off and I keep all these things within my own head, because it's going 100 miles per hour, and I'm assuming and I'm putting things together. Oh yeah, I'm putting things together rather than having a natural conversation of back and forth and trying to find some clarification in that. If I don't do that, that's a stepping stone for destruction in our relationship, and more specifically in our marriage. And so, Mom, what's your take on this? What we're talking about, man? Because you just smiling over there. You can't smile and not say nothing.
Man, I'm just catching everything that's coming. Like Brother Wayne said, like, listening is an art form.
Mm-hmm.
It really is an art form. And what he just said, let it build, and let her get let it build and come with a whole different thing. Like, it's just like, I mean, you know me, I answer this in a whole different.
That's okay.
Like maybe smooth. You know, sometimes you gotta put the pause button. You gotta put the pause button on yourself and be like,
yeah.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I'm a good listener.
Yeah.
And I bring it right back. Like, well, remember you said this?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, some people be like, oh, what? Yeah, remember you said this. So it's just like, I'm finna give it back to you.
Yeah.
For you to see it from my perspective.
Right.
So you see it from she'll tell you, I'll be like, put yourself in my shoes. Sometimes you gotta put that person in your shoes and be like, okay,
yeah.
What's your response? Now, if I say this to you, you know what I'm saying? If I say this to you, how you said it to me,
yeah.
What's your response?
Yeah.
And I do that a lot.
And you know what I'm saying? It's like boom. You see how this is how you gave it to me.
Yeah.
Now you see why.
I grew up though.
I'm not talking about. It's like okay. Now you see why. Okay, I see, you know, when something getting on I tense. I do like this, and I'll be like,
no, you don't. You don't do that. You do this. You trying to get your point across. You do this like you tap like
because I'll be like this. Hear me. You know what I'm saying? Like, listen to what I'm saying. Don't what's called assume.
Okay. Yeah.
Hear me when I be like this. Hear me when I say this. And I want you to catch. I want you to catch everything. Hear me when I say this. This is what you are.
Yeah.
See, now he's really talking about me.
Yeah, he talking about you.
But he really
talking about you. But you said growth, right? You grown, right?
Absolutely. I'm still evolving.
That's what's. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
but if it get too hot, I'm gonna let you stand in the kitchen by yourself. I'm just going ahead and go get a fan and just sit down.
He walks off. He will walk off.
Walk off?
I will go get a fan and be like,
Okay.
come back.
Okay.
Come back when I like.
And then I don't want to talk when you come back.
Yeah, she don't want to talk. I'll be like, you know what? It's cool.
Cause now I'm eating.
But
I'm
we
being left in the
we've
kitchen.
not going to bed. We're not going to bed though. We're just still on the platter.
Yeah.
Next
I
morning.
better not be sleeping then, because I'm telling you I'm going to sleep.
That's because some things you do gotta just, you know.
Yeah. All right, let's kick this thing off for our second question. Let's start with you, Tina. Since you were last, let's start with you.
I put go away overnight at least once a month.
Okay.
Going out to eat, which we do
Yeah.
that. Doing events like this
Yeah.
together. Now we just started the garden back up, and vacation more.
Yeah. Well, the vacation is kind of hard because we're doing so much. So we have to fit them in. We do have to try to fit them in.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's another thing too is like listening. You know, like you said, y'all was saying like actively listening. So I hear her. I hear what she's saying. Now, as I'm talking, I'm trying to figure it out. You know, because that's what we do, right?
Yeah.
We try to figure it out, and I would love to take more vacations. It's just I'm just busy. So now the self-care goes back to question number one. Is the self-care is like, okay, what sacrifice am I going to make though to give her what she think we need? And so, and I agree too. I agree taking more vacations, but now I got to try to figure it out. You know,
I
so.
like how she said, and sometimes we get this image of we need to go on a 7-day long vacation.
Right.
Just getting away for like just away from home,
Yeah.
away from your surroundings, and it's just an overnight thing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
An overnight thing, just beautiful. One year we went to Cliff Breakers and we got the I think it was the Sweetheart Suite. Or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
And it was just beautiful just to be away from the children.
Gotcha.
Beautiful to be away from everybody in our normal surroundings.
Yeah.
In that setting, it was peaceful. Nothing major, but
Right.
just away. So I think the little getaways add up.
Gotcha.
They
And
count.
I did that after we had his party, and then Sunday it was just that whole weekend was busy, and I was like, "What's your schedule like on Monday?" Because he works in Crystal Lake and office in Rockford, and I was like, "Well, we're going after church. Pack your bag. We're leaving." And I stayed in the room while he did his clients, and then he came back and picked me up, and then he took me to the
Shopping.
mall,
Mhm.
and I stepped out of the car so he could do his telehealth in the car. So it's ways.
But you see that balance though.
Yeah.
That how
Yeah. So most of the time, I always tell the women, for romantic getaways or whatever, we're gonna have to plan it. Don't
Yeah.
wait. They're not gonna do it.
True.
Amen.
Yes.
They're
True.
not.
We gotta demand that we're leaving.
We have to do that.
Pack your bag.
This is it.
We're leaving.
Like
Yeah.
you don't never plan.
Cause
You better plan it.
We so wired.
It don't mean that they don't love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Wired
do
that
it.
way.
And then
Thank you.
they're thinking about
That don't mean they don't love you.
Look,
I don't say we don't love
you in the amen section over there, Calvin.
We just wired that way. Like
Yeah.
we don't go mode, but not
Yeah.
that go mode. We don't go like, man, we just trying to stay floating.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Just trying to stay floating.
but it makes the men feel good when we do step out and do something like that.
But don't that make women, the ladies, don't that make you feel like, well, I always got to do everything, and he ain't
It's
even.
okay. It's fine.
I love doing it.
I feel like yes.
It's gonna be done right.
I feel like
That's the thing.
yes, we do always have to do everything because we do, but like we always gotta do everything. Let's not make the vacation or the getaway, the time together, the theme though. Like
What do you mean?
that- I feel like because, and I don't want to make an excuse, right?
Mhm.
But I will say that like you just get to a point where you pick and choose your battles.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Like yeah, my husband could plan more. but it's not like all y'all could plan more.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And I just feel like I'm in two different settings all the time, and right now I'm in a setting with men who could plan more and pay mortgage, and I'm in another setting with men who could play more and doing all kind of other stuff. You know what I mean? So pick and choose your battles, I guess is what I'm saying, and it's just like, I mean, it just is what it is.
So let me, if I think, let me throw this out there, and you tell me if I'm picking up. So are you saying that, yeah, you guys can plan more, but we still have to learn how to lead? Is that in the same? Because I'm going to make some decisions based on what we need, but if it's going to come down to a vacation, I'm okay with whatever you choose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yes. And I also think that a lot of times as women, we get this notion where like, oh, I don't feel this, he's not making me feel bubbly inside because he didn't plan more or plan this or plan that. And it's not based on our real feelings, it's based on other women's feelings.
Oh.
Okay. Do that make sense? Hopefully I'm making
Does it feel,
sense.
but does it feel good though if I plan something for us?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Like,
that's okay. Look, wait, hold on.
I want to be honest.
Go ahead.
I want to really be honest with myself.
Go ahead.
Because it's like, yeah, but like, no, because like, I'm glad that you thought about doing it, but I would have never picked that. You know what I mean?
Goodness! Man, look, I'm like Wayne now. hold on. I want to hear. I want to hear what Diamond was saying because go ahead. What you trying to say? Go ahead.
I mean, I can agree with her. But that's only like when it come down to gifting. Like,
no, I'm talking about.
Wait.
I'm talking about the restaurant.
Okay, come on. I want to hear it. Go ahead.
So, like my husband's gifting, like he got some morning glory or something glory, a granny perfume. And I tried in my brain to try to make it smell good, but I'm like, this is supposed to smell good. But anyway, make a long story short, but as far as him planning for dates, he got that down pat. Now, the first thing ever, we went to the Signature Room in Chicago. And he just didn't know about like reservations. Yeah. But y'all know in Chicago you need reservations.
Yeah.
I cried that day. We went up there and it was like, we're full, we don't have reservations, and I'm just like,
yeah.
I'm thinking that he knew,
yeah.
but he didn't, and I literally cried. Like, I cannot believe he dropped the ball with this. But ever since that day, he seen me cry. We walked to Chili's. I'm looking nice, and this outfit ain't for Chili's. When he seen that day, it switched to where he got everything down pat.
Yeah.
He even like parking, he got everything down pat. So kudos to you.
Hear me what you was about to say, man.
So recently, right, my wife had told me pretty much what she said. Like, she planned 99% of everything, which is true, because I suck at planning. Like, if me and my guys get up, we like, oh, what you want to do? We get up mean like get up. Like, we going to get up, maybe watch some sports, whatever. If we going to find something to get into. Like, when it's time, it's time. You feel me? Like, we ain't, I ain't planning it out. Oh, we going to go pull up. Like, nah, it's whatever. You know what I'm saying? So my wife said, she do all the planning. So I'm like, bet, say less. So I'm like, I'm going to plan a date night because we try to do date nights, right? So I tell her, I'm like, hey, on this day, because I got to tell her because her schedule be crazy. On this day, we doing date night. And then when the time comes, she like, yo, what we doing? I'm like, oh, it's a surprise. She like, it's not a surprise because you already told me we doing date night. I'm like, but you don't know nothing we doing. She like, I want to know because you so then I end up telling her what we doing. She like, nah, we not doing none of that. We gonna do it. I done planned out all this stuff. I'm my element. You know what I'm saying? The thing is, I listen to her. She say when she pick out my gifts and stuff, she like, I listen to what you say. I take notes and write it down. So I'm listening. Oh, you want that, baby? I got you. Boom. I'm taking notes. Oh, we finna pull up everything she like. I got. I tell her like, yo, we gonna do this. We gonna do this. She like, nah, that's cool. You tried. I'm gonna be honest. The things that I've tried to like plan out in comparison to the stuff that she does, it's not even close. Like,
wow.
My birthday, She got stuff laid around the house. I got to do scavenger hunts across the city. She got 50 people involved. I got to go to different people's houses and scavenge stuff in their house. For her stuff, she come in, I got like the gift on the bed. Like, it's not wrapped because I can't wrap gifts. I got you this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whole scavenger hunt site across the city. Like,
Yeah.
I can't compete with that. I'm like, I'm not smart enough to put together how you put together what you do. So I'm just saying, for me, I don't necessarily have that skill set like that. Like, I just like, she cold with it, and then I just be like, if you compare our gifts every single year, I started trying to outdo her, and I can't. So I'm like, listen, I just submit, and I'm just saying.
All right, all right, submitting. Wanda, what you got?
I just think that it's just made that way, you know, because I listen to everyone say, and we say the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
If we plan, because we that's what we do. We plan things.
Mm-hmm.
We got it out because if you guys plan it, we're gonna end up like what you say. He does, the only thing that he plans is the parking. The parking. As far as events and anything else and where we going, no.
Gotcha.
No.
I got you.
Men always, they think different. We all think different. Men think different from women. It's just, when it comes to planning, you guys are just not good at that.
I submit to what you 100%.
Okay.
It's just easier for you pick your battles, like you say, and whoever does it best.
Okay.
I seem to do it better, so.
And you benefit from it, so exactly.
Look,
to her point.
I done tried to what's called like sneak up on her this job. She be like, I know you outside.
My spirit.
I'm like, how you know?
No, I know how you talk.
I know you outside because I can hear the wind. I'm like,
wow.
The wind is different. Everywhere else, I'm like, so it's just
All right.
blowing.
We're gonna get Wayne, and then I'm gonna get William. We're gonna take a break, and we're gonna go to our second half. Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say to the point, like she's excellent at planning our vacations and stuff. But when we get to where we're going, like I select restaurants and like the excursions and stuff like that. I plan up on that, you know.
Yeah.
Because we like having fun.
Yeah.
Like the last time we a couple years ago, we was in Myrtle Beach. And we went parasailing for the first time.
Wow.
You know? And so typically, when she selects a spot, then I kind of survey the land and see what we can do and stuff like that, because I like having fun.
And I like vacation. I like the last day to lay down and do nothing.
I like having fun. You know, we're both adventurous. So
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Gotcha.
I want to really quick piggyback off of that. What I will say though about my husband is that over the last 10 years, he's gotten much better at faking like. No, seriously.
Okay.
Like, even though I know consciously but he's gotten much better like picking up his phone like, oh yeah, babe, like I put in Puerto Rico in Google, like, oh yeah, I seen some stuff, and like faking like he is. So he's got it. I mean, it's not all the time, but like we've been talking about this vacation for 2-3 months now. At one time he's going to act like, you know, that he really. And it just made it kind of like, okay, he cares. Even though I end up doing everything, it's like, he's like, oh my God, let me, you know?
Yeah.
But he's gotten a lot better at making me feel better about it.
Gotcha. Go ahead.
You said really touched me. And in my defense, yes, he planned it for like a month, and I didn't want to do what he decided. But in my defense, I'm looking for when you said that it is what it is, like it doesn't really matter. It matters to me. Because nobody wants to do 99% of anything in a relationship. Mm-hmm. And you said that I do 99% of the planning. Yeah. And so I don't necessarily want to feel bubbly because other women feel bubbly, but I want to feel bubbly because I want to feel bubbly.
Absolutely.
And so I felt you on it is what it is, but at the same time, I want some balance in this thing. Like maybe once I can get flued out. Right? I get flued out.
She flews me out all the time.
I flew him out one time because I have to travel for work, and we planned for him to get flued out to where I was at. And he came into our room, and it was just the most romantic setting he had ever experienced in his life.
Dang.
It was romantic, but like I would like to have that same
Yes.
experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to walk into rose petals on the floor and chocolates on the bed. I want that too. Like, you don't have to be the best of planners to give me like 25% of this.
Yeah,
thing. You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, I want to feel some of that too.
I mean,
That's
25% I'm done. I feel like
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
resume.
William, what you got before we go to break? What you got, man?
I think just for me, I try to be spontaneous as much as I can.
Yeah.
I think a lot of my life, especially with me and her, we plan a lot of things. And sometimes I try to be like, you know what? Let's give it midnight. Let's go to Taco Bell real quick.
Yeah.
Let's go to food real quick and just run around. For me, it's like I want to be. Again, my life is too much structure already.
Yeah.
Okay. So I try to be spontaneous. I do something like, hey, let's go to Wisconsin Dells real quick.
Yeah.
Let's go do something real quick. You know, I try to get her out of her element because she likes to stay in her bubble.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to get her out of her element so we can be able to spend time with one another. Because again, a lot of our life is just planned out already.
Yeah. Man, look, hold on to that. If you got that, hold on to that, because that ain't that's not typical. hold on. see what I'm saying? Yeah. So hold on to that. It is. So back into the questions and the conversation. I'm always trying to be conscious of elders in the room, and my wife has to remind me sometimes. But I also we got a lot of couples here, and we're a lot younger, but we have also seasoned individuals that are here as well. And I'm curious of their perspective. Like, we're sitting here having these conversations, ma'am and sir. What do you got? He wasn't expecting me to come over there. I'm curious, like, what do you guys think of these conversations, and what's your perspective on some of the things that we talked about so far?
Well, one of the key things that you guys have talked about that I can appreciate is good communication, and that's good with any couple.
Okay.
You know, no matter what age they at. But as far as all of you couples, it seems that all of you guys are in that working stage of your life where both of you are busy and you're doing things. And me and my husband, we're retired. So when we were working, I was telling your wife, we was like two ships in the night, and we got everything done. We accomplished the tasks we had at home while we were planning to, when we got into our 50s, we were talking about now we're gonna plan to retire. And so we were able to communicate that effectively to one another. So that's what we were doing, was trying to get ready for retirement. But then once that time came for retirement, we didn't know each other. Just trying to cut to the chase, you know. It's because he worked one shift, I worked another shift. When we were together on the weekends and stuff, then we was just limited time. You know, they have that old saying, absence make the heart grow fonder.
Yeah.
So we made it through any kind of bumps that we had simply because we miss one another, and we did, and we still love one another.
Yeah.
But now that we're retired, it's a time for us to now start really learning each other's personalities.
Yeah.
All over again.
Yeah.
And that's been the tough part.
Yeah.
It really has been. And so communication is the key thing. My husband is really laid back. I'm kind of hyper, so you ain't gonna hear him say a whole lot. But I was always the one really aggressive, really busy. And even after I retired, I said, I'm gonna sleep for a whole month. And then I'm gonna get busy doing some things. And then COVID hit. I retired January the 3rd, 2020. So then by March, then they shut down the nation. So here we were having to spend a lot of time together.
Yeah.
At home watching TV together.
Yeah.
We only got a couple of things that we both have in common that we could watch together.
Yeah.
game shows and westerns. That get old after a while, So that was one of the things. Is just even to sit down and relax and watch something together. We'll watch a movie occasionally. But I think he likes different types of movies than I do. You know, I like detective type of movies and that sort of thing. And he's more of a mystery and a scary movie type of person. And so we learned each other all over again. And we're still, in our retirement years, we're still learning one another.
Wow.
Now I'm ready to go and travel. And he's ready to stay at home. And I mean, so we're almost like two opposites, you know. But one thing that we have in common is that we truly love one another. And we have learned over the years, and that even we were given advice when we first got married that we always keep Christ as the head of our lives. And that's what we do. Never go to bed mad at one another. And 38 and plus, we were together like 4 years. Never go to bed without each other. And if you get into an argument, it ain't so big that you can't ask each other for forgiveness. Please forgive me. So that has kept us together, and we're going to celebrate our 38th wedding anniversary next week, July the 7th. And I must say, even though we're two opposites, we still love one another. You know, and so I want him to be my best friend now because we retired. But I don't know if we can be best friends because he don't want to do the same thing I want. You want to say anything, Eddie?
No, she said all of it. She said enough.
Wow. Well, Mr. Eddie. No, thank you for sharing that. I think that's the value that we look for in relationship as well, to get to where you guys are. You know, that's the where we're striving to get to. And so I thank you for sharing that. Thank you very much. Ms. Netta, before I go ahead.
Is there anything that surprised you about him that you didn't know while you were in two ships passing in the night, and now that you're retired? Was there something that surprised you? Was there anything that surprised you like you did not know?
Oh, you don't really want to know. You know, I really, to be honest with you, and no hard feelings, baby, because I love you. But my husband, he is very negative compared to me. I'm a person that sees the sunshine even when it's raining. You know, and he just tell it like it is. And to me, I think sometimes I tell him, I say, you're just too negative. I said, why don't you see the sun shining, you know? And I could say, oh, it's going to be a beautiful day. Well, they predict it's going to be raining. You know, so it's the negative part of his personality is what we fight about now. And it's because I'm trying to get him to be more positive about things. And I tell him a lot of times, and I share this with you all, is, you know, I think when you're negative and you're complaining about things, you're not grateful for what you have. The Word of God tells us to be content in whatever state we are in. So I find it hard for me to even be content when I have a friend, my lover, my husband, that I've been with all these years, and he's not content. It seems he's not content. But yet he feels like I got everything I need.
So do you think it's negative if he's just being practical? Because if he says the sun is shining, well, they predict it's going to rain. He's just saying what he's seen on the news.
Well, that was an example that I gave, you know, but it seems like if I say yay, he say nay. So I guess
Being light with it.
So I got a question. This was actually one of the audience questions. I hope y'all didn't ask this. I want to ask it to you guys. Instead of the group, I want to ask it to you guys. Is there such thing as 50-50 relationship? Men today want 50% of everything now in today's world. What do you think about that?
I think so.
Miss Eddie, go ahead and elaborate.
I think so. I'm just going to say I think men should have 50-50.
Okay. Okay. You got it. You want to?
I don't want to elaborate nothing, but I just think me and you.
You try not to get in trouble. But
You try not to get in trouble.
one thing you learn after you've been together for a long time: don't say too much. and don't say too much and get your wife upset. Go home with her.
So you don't believe in 50-50?
Who, me?
Yes.
I believe in 50-50, but I believe that sometimes one of the mates can give more like 75% and the other will give 25%. Because I feel that sometimes, like some of the things I want out of life now, he don't want to accommodate me for those things. And so I don't feel like he's giving me his 50%. You know, if he gave me his 50%, then I might be happy. Because, all right, so I say that because I would like to travel maybe a little more often than we do. Now, we're coming up on our anniversary next week, 38 years. We got married on my husband's birthday, July the 7th. So every year, where I have to give him a birthday gift and anniversary gift, right?
Hey, fellas, the reason why I did that because you'll never forget your anniversary. I'm serious.
I love it.
You never forget. You ain't gonna never forget your birthday.
That's true. He never forgets.
I love that.
But I like to travel more or something. And so I said, well, I've been throwing out some places. Let's go to San Diego. We ain't never been there before. They say the weather is perfect there. And then, no, I don't want to go to San Diego. What we going to do in San Diego? I said, all right, well, let's go to New York. We haven't seen the new, what is the name of the thing for 911? The memorial that they made for that? No, I don't want to go to New York. It's
Well,
too
tell them
busy.
where I want to go.
Where do you want to go? Oh, he want to go to Hawaii. Well, we went to Hawaii. We've been to Hawaii. And then, you know, some of you ever been to Hawaii, you know it costs a lot of money too. So I want to go somewhere that was a little bit closer so that we can go in a few days and stuff and come on back home. So then the last thing I said, let's go to DC. I want to see the African American Museum. You know, no, I don't want to do that. So everything I have suggested he don't want to do. And I guess I don't accept wanting to go back to Hawaii. We went in 2015. And I said, well, we already been there. Let's go somewhere else, you know. That we
Well, you've been to New York already.
Yeah, but I wasn't there when they did that.
I mean,
I love it. I love this. I love this because yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, right. This is awesome though to hear you guys talk like this and as open as you guys are. I really truly appreciate that. Thank you guys for that. So we gonna keep it going though because I got something special for you because they actually started and segue into where we're gonna go with this, and I want y'all to take a look at this for a second, and you tell me what you think because they already started it.
Okay, this is one thing as men that this is where you need to have balance. Now, this is where balance comes in.
Okay.
When you're dealing with a woman's feelings, you need to understand what feelings are valid for you to take into consideration and what feelings are not. Because not every feeling and every emotion that a woman has is valid for you to take into consideration.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Now listen. Hey, check this out. Now, wait. What? He too smart for you?
He don't sound too smart.
Okay. Now. Okay. Wait. Listen. Go ahead, Miss Wanda. Go ahead.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I somewhat can relate to that.
Yeah.
Because, and I only say that because there's been times I have rattled on, and my husband can help me see that's really is insignificant. That's nothing for me to see, because my husband is like this. And I can be, when I go through this thing, I can be, you know, when it's something that I really believe in and I really feel strong about something, I don't stop.
Yeah.
And has helped me to see that, okay, you express your feelings. I told you what it was, and you're still going on about it. Because I didn't get the answer that I wanted to get. So I didn't get the response I wanted to get.
Gotcha.
You know, and I've come to see over the years that I can start a fight that I shouldn't even. I can start a fire that I shouldn't have even started.
Gotcha.
Because like you say, that feeling, it was a feeling, an emotion that I had, but after I addressed it, I should have left it alone because it wasn't that big. You know
Gotcha.
what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I can understand when you say some feelings is not valid because us women, we're emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we can have y'all on emotional roller coaster.
Yeah.
And Pastor Fricks ain't going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
I've come to learn, so I can understand, I can somewhat relate to what he say, that every feeling and emotional is not valid.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and to her point, it's like my wife, she's an overthinker. And sometimes when I enter into the house, I can feel her thoughts. It's just something in the air with her energy, with her vibe. I can just feel it. And I know that it's something there and it's gonna come out. You know, and I'll just give a scenario that the night of the chef's table that we was going on our way there, she got a phone call. I won't go into it, but I knew that it put her in a different headspace. And I knew it. And so I am in another room. I'm dressed already. She's still on the phone now talking about the situation. And so my grandson comes to me. He said, "Papa, why is Granny Wanda in there yelling?" And I'm like, "Oh, boy." And I'm just like, I said, "We finna be at the house for a minute." And so I peep in. I'm like, and she's still like she done took off already. And so it's just gonna take a minute now. And because once she gets worked up, it's gonna be a little minute to get her back down.
Gotcha.
And I just know how to work with her to get her back, and I'm patient enough to get her back. And I listen to her. I consider what she's feeling in the moment, but I understand another part of it that we got to move beyond that.
Yeah.
You know, and that's important.
Gotcha. What do you think about that, Diamond?
That's beautiful. Just to hear all that, because I can definitely relate with Lady Wanda, like, splitting image. Like, when I speedball, I speedball. And sometimes Calvin get on that speedball with me, and then, like, he feel like he losing control because he can't get off of it. You know, so, like, I clap for that you can, you understand that, okay, and then you can pull her up out of that when she come down a little bit. So that's beautiful.
And I like that you said you're patient enough.
Yes.
Because that sounds like anxiety to me, and I have it. And he is very patient with me when it comes to that. Like if he know I'm here, he'll make sure he works me down to where I'm okay. And then he'll let me know like 3 days later, like, yeah, I was elevated too. I just didn't tell you. You know, it's like if we both get like that, then
it's just wisdom, like he said. So I'm not saying I think the choice of words that he used, he's just called it the way it is.
Yeah.
Some feelings and emotions are valid and some of them are not. Now it's different if if it was a crisis, because like the example that he said, it really was nothing. You know, and I know how I am. So, and I do accept that, and I thank God for my better half. And he helps me keep me balanced like that.
Gotcha.
Because I know when he tell me something, I know from being with him so long to see he's not gonna tell me nothing wrong. It's me. Overreacting, and I really need to get
you got something in the audience.
I can understand with the emotions, because for me, depending on what happened, I can say I'm okay 6 months from now. It's the whole situation. I went hit it from 1,000 angles. I'll talk his ear off. We can cross over, be in line to see Jesus. I'm still talking about it because I'm not over it. And for him, he'd be like, you need to let it go. But depending on what type of emotion hit me, I don't want to let it go, because if I experience it again, I don't want to do that again. And I've learned, well, I'm still learning, how to make peace with what happened, that I can't change it, but to learn from it. So if it come up again, I can move differently.
Yeah. Did anybody else want to speak on that? Yes.
I think part of it, what he was saying is her feelings may not be valid to you at that point as a man. I know sometimes my husband will internalize what I'm going through, and it might be something from work that has me upset. And I'm still dealing with whatever stressed me at work, but he can feel that, and so he's now stressing, not even knowing what it is that I'm stressing over, even though I'm telling him I'm fine, and he's internalizing it, but it's not something that's a valid feeling for him to even have to deal with. So I see it on that line with him saying that some of those feelings aren't valid to you as a man, but that's where that patience also comes in for us to get past it and, deal with it however we deal with it and not have it affect you as much as it is affecting us.
Wow. Thank you. Okay. Anybody else before we move on? Yes. What you got, William? What you got?
I think like you said, I like walk, get it off your chest. I just said, come on, let's get it off your chest, and we'll walk. She's like, I'm glad I just had to get that.
She raised her voice.
Will, I see you jumping at the. Yeah, he ready to go.
So when you say like just talk about it and everything, there's days where I'd be like, I'll listen to her. I'm like, okay. A lot of work I'm in, like I be thinking outside the box. I think outside the box. That's just how my brain works. But there's some days I'm like,
I stress him out.
I'm like, okay, I got you. Okay, I'm gonna listen to you. But it's like at the same time, I'm like, I just can't get the mental capacity just to do it today. Sometimes I ain't got it.
Right.
But there's some days I'm like, all right, I'll listen to it. I got it. I can do it. But some days I'm like, man, I'm listening to you, but I'm not really taking it in, but I'm listening to you.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I learned to, even with that, if I'm going on and on
You
and
got
on
something?
and on and on and on and on about it, if he gives me feedback from whatever his perspective may be about the topic, that lets me know that, okay, he's listening and he wants the situation to be better. So he gives me feedback. Now, if I go on and I say, did you hear what I said? And you're like, yeah, okay. Then I know that I'm probably boring him. He's reached his limit of, I'm tired of hearing about it. And I respect that.
Yeah.
Can I jump in?
Yeah.
So, when we know their temperature, why do we still go in?
I was gonna actually count. I was gonna say
Can
that.
I just say something? See, like sometimes, like this is very confusing for me because like I can sit and listen to her ranting off, right? And this is what she want me to do. And I'm thinking like, okay, she don't need no response. She just want to vent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when she get done talking, she'll look at me all crazy, expecting me to, give her a response.
Yeah.
And she'll get on me about that.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, guess what? When I respond, she said, I don't want you to respond. I just want you to listen.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is that my husband, I appreciate, for the most part, that he is brutally honest, if that makes sense. Not brutally, I shouldn't say brutally, but he's very honest, and it's not to hurt my feelings at all. It's just the way he's wired. It literally, I never have to guess whether he's over it. It's not a silent thing, listening. It's not a, it's a, I'm over this.
Yeah.
It's a very, and at the beginning of our relationship, that really bothered me, right? But then I learned to appreciate it because I don't have to guess. So I don't have to necessarily wonder if he's at his limit, right? I'm a big sister, so all day, every day, I'm always helping or answering the phone or picking up nieces or picking up, I'm a big sister. And he'll say, enough. That's enough. You got 4 people you need to worry about. Yourself, your husband, and your kids. That's what you're doing today. I don't want to talk about this anymore. I don't want to talk about work. I don't want to talk about this anymore. And sometimes I feel like I need to talk about it, but I have to remember I've talked about this for the last 4 or 5 days, and now I'm okay with him saying, okay, enough. Because I know tomorrow he knows, here I go, right? And so I do appreciate that for the most part, that he's very much, that's just how he was raised. He's very direct in that way.
I just think everybody seems I'm not the only person.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, here's my next question from the audience, and it's a twofold for women and men. So women, listen up. It says, for the women, what does it mean to you when people say sometimes you have to be quiet? Okay. Hold on. Hold your thoughts. Okay. Hold on. For the men, what is the difference between being patient with a man and a man who is abusing your time? How can we tell the difference? What is the difference between being patient with a man and a man who is abusing your time? How can we tell the difference? So who wants to go first? Me? Go ahead. For the women. Don't answer the man question. You want to? Okay. I tell you what. Answer whatever you want to answer. Okay. Whatever you like.
This is what I always say. And biblically, the man is the chaser. He gonna go after what he wants. And it don't take long. It doesn't take long. You know what you want. Mm-hmm. So if he's saying this, but then he's not really, he's kind of like kind of feeding you along to keep you there. No, that's not it. Let him, if he wants you, he's going to come and get you. Mm-hmm. Period.
Otherwise, he pump faking.
Yeah.
That's it. Yep.
And I'm gonna add to that. Men, like you said, we know what we want, and so until we get that, we will play. We're going to play until we get to that one woman that say, okay, you're not doing this. If you want to be with me, this is how it's going to roll. XYZ. Because we want that. We don't want just anything, right? Because we can do that all day long. We can go and get whatever. But when a real woman stands up and you like, okay, that's what I want. Go ahead.
And the women, they're scared to stand up and say, this is what I want, because you're so afraid that he's gonna leave. But if he leaves,
he's not for you.
Then that's not who it is.
That's right. That's correct.
That's who God placed for you. He's going to have a conversation with God. He's gonna come and get you.
Yeah, I agree. Nobody want to touch that one, huh?
That's just like saying from the beginning. Though.
Yeah.
Like the first segment that we had.
Yeah.
This series, like you know what you want.
Yep.
Go get it.
Yep.
Make it plain.
No, it's just like like you said, your boyfriend, girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You know, if that's the one you want.
Mm-hmm.
You go hey,
yeah.
Like she gave you the ultimatum. Right. Get your merch together.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because if you let us get it early, I didn't conquer what I had to get. Look, she done gave me. I got a week. A week.
Mm-hmm.
I done already did what I had to do. So, ain't no sense.
Yeah, I like to say this, that if you have a woman that has a standard and maintains that standard, she'll cause a man to rise to that standard. Absolutely. Because we want women with standards, don't we? Wow. That's what we want. I think the old folks used to have a saying.
Send this part to my sister.
Don't be telling on your sister now. Yeah.
And my grandmother used to have a saying is that that a man don't want the cow if he can get the milk for free.
Yeah.
And so when a woman has a standard, it's just like, man, you admire that, you want to rise up to the
absolutely
that she's at. And to me, it makes us be better men.
Yeah.
And to Tina's standpoint, men are hunters. Yeah. We like to hunt. Yeah. And so the hunt is on, and so we're not just hunting anything, we're hunting something that we desire and something that we want. And I think when I look at my wife, I remember when me and her when we got back reconnected, she got out of the car and she had this walk. And it was just,
not the walk. She
got out the car and
She had this walk, and she just stepped, and she had these heels on, they was high, and she just stepped. So she got me with the walk.
Yeah.
Just getting out the car
Yeah.
with the walk.
Yeah.
She had my attention,
Mhm.
you know, and then she carried herself, and a lot of times, if you get a chance to know Wanda, Wanda can be an intimidating woman.
Yeah.
Because she's strong.
Yeah.
She knows who she
Yeah.
knows who she is, she knows what she wants, and she is uncompromising in her and unflinching with that. And so for me, it's like, hey man, I'm game. I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that immediately it was just like, bam, we there. We there.
Yeah.
But when other men see her, they'll even say, how do you handle her?
Yeah.
She seems fierce.
Ain't no handling, right? Yeah, you like, I'm walking too. Look, watch me. Yeah.
See, but the challenge is that's when you've been together 20 or 30 years. And as you date, men are hunters, and once they get it, but what about keeping it?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
Because us as women, we grow, and we are changing. We're not the same people we were 10 years ago.
Yep.
We've been together 10 years ago.
Yep.
Now there's a different thing, and us as women, as he always said, we mature faster than men. And I think the man is even though he's the head, we are the neck.
Mm.
In order for the head to stand,
Woo!
strong. You have to stay
Yeah.
strong. You know, because and then you not only that, I would never get it mixed up that he's the head.
Mhm,
Although I
mhm,
am a strong woman,
mhm.
I know who I'm following.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? And that equips me to makes me be a better woman.
Wow. Well, that leads to the next point. I mean, clip here, Wanda. Oh, so I'm gonna keep on moving, but William, he's a therapist as well. So kudos to another black male therapist. And so I wanted him to come and see this atmosphere, and he's came and he's ingratiated himself. So I appreciate that, Will. What do you got to say, Will? I just wanted to give you that shout out.
I like what you said. You mentioned something about a woman does their standards. All right, for me, when my wife take a dish, I get my blood boiled. I love that because that turns on. Because for me, it's like my mom. She was a strong woman.
Yeah.
And my mom was a strong woman. My granny was a strong woman. So whenever I see my wife take initiative and be strong.
All right. Hey, I need to shift this thing, Will, because you get this thing. Woo! I'm gonna turn that air back down. Well, look, let's go into this next clip here. We're gonna see if y'all keep that same energy. Okay, we're gonna see. Here we go.
I was not honest with myself, so anybody that I was with would have to accept me for who they was and almost not even try to say it out loud to me. Like, Dan, don't you think you smoke too much?
Yeah.
Don't you think you overdose too much?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even when my sexual desire peaked up, I didn't know that what you do in the dark is gonna come to the light.
Yeah.
So as I would indulge in a lot of different videos of freaky substances that you're watching, and when I go out in public, my eyes have a sexual desire to it.
Right,
You walk in a room and people can discern a pervert. You know what I mean? They just see you, and then to be honest, and since we being so transparent, it attracts some women that don't even know why they attracted to you.
Yeah.
You walk in the room and they just be like, it's because you have a certain level of perversion in your eyes.
Yeah.
You wear yourself for a certain level of freakiness.
Okay. Now, he said a lot, but what I want y'all to focus on is what he said about this level of perversion, how a person walks into the room, or how he sees a woman, or how the woman accepts that level of perversion. How do y'all feel about just entering a room and feeling that? And
We see a creep a mile away.
You better say
okay, but what about the attraction to that? Because that's what he was talking about as well. He was like, some women are attracted to that.
Mary, I don't know who you talk to. Audience?
Yes, was one.
I would just say, because I can relate to what he's saying, because I'm pretty sure we all have felt that, discerned that.
Uh-huh.
When a man is undressing you with
Yeah.
his eyes and look
Yeah.
at that. But you know what? I look at that's his issue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make me feel neither here or there.
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't, make me feel creeped out or it doesn't attract me. I mean, that's who he is, you know. And you get that a dime a dozen. I mean, this is life. I mean, you're gonna come into people that's like that. I mean,
Gotcha. What you got here?
I mean, I don't know about other men, but so I'm open with my wife. Like I recognize beautiful women when I see them.
Mm-hmm.
But just because you're a beautiful woman doesn't necessarily mean I want to sleep with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you fine, you fine. Like I don't play the game of like she fine. Let me put my eyes down so I don't know. She thick. She working with something. She working with like because that's what God gave her to work with.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not my lot for me to be like, oh, let me go try to holler or something like that. So like I recognize beautiful women.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of recognizing beautiful women, taking steps further and acting on, that's a whole different level. I mean, for me, like I tell my wife, like as a man, if a woman hits on me and I'm married, then one part of me is like, damn, my ego feel good, like I still got it.
Yeah.
But then I told my wife, I said, man, this girl hit on me and I felt bad because she's like an OnlyFans girl or something like that. So I started asking myself, like, what am I doing? Like, what am I doing that this, like, I want, like, my resume got to be bad girls get hit on me, but OnlyFans girls hitting on me, I'm giving off some energy that's like, what am I doing that she thinks that this is acceptable? Like, no, it's not. I need an acceptable hit on me, not that's not acceptable. So I'm just saying that I recognize, and if my wife is like, oh, Will Smith got his shirt off, he fine. Well, okay, for what women look for in a man, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like Will Smith is that dude. So
Does that create self-doubt, y'all, when you tell your spouse or you look at another person, it's like, man, that's a beautiful woman, that's a beautiful guy. Does that sow self-doubt in anybody?
I tell my wife as a safety mechanism for me, because I know myself, like, I don't want myself to see a sister and then start, because I think J. Cole had a song, he talking about once the seed is planted for men, like, once the seed is planted, all it takes is you thinking about it, like, damn, I gotta, like, if she say the right thing, if she whispers, she got perfume, whatever it is, nobody's perfect in the sense of, like, nobody decides, like, they want to cheat, just outright, unless that's your thing.
Yeah.
But I also don't want to create the environment. So I'll tell my wife, like, if this person, this woman said this to me, so she knows. So like we was at a party. I won't say her name because everybody probably know her. Sister walk up to me and like start kissing me or something, like kissing me on the cheek or something like that, while I'm like holding my wife's hand. So I'm like, first of all, you seeing what's happening, right? Like I didn't kiss her. She walked up and like she must be drunk or something, right? But also it's a protection for me because I know as a man, like I'm attracted to black women. Black women are fine. So I don't want to put myself in a position where anything could ever happen. So nothing's ever happened because I'm aware of my circumstance, my situation. I'm not hanging out with women. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I'm not in clubbing. Like I'm not in these positions where a woman can take advantage of my weakness at that time and make that happen. So I keep myself protected in that way. And then I let my wife know, like, listen, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm going through. That sister was fine. Did you? Yeah. All right, let me keep it pushing because I don't want to jeopardize what I've built for the last 17 years, if that makes sense. So for me, that's how I approach it.
All right.
I can really appreciate that because it sort of reminds me of our relationship. You know, me, myself, it just tickles me. And I'm like, yeah, because I don't have a problem with a woman looking at my man or my husband and saying that he's fine. It makes me feel good, like, yeah, he is fine. That's me. I don't think it makes me feel intimidated. It just actually it makes me feel good. I mean, because I don't want nobody else want. Right. I mean, he looks nice. I mean, he looks good to me. I'm not the only person that thinks that. You know what I'm saying? And it just, or when a man attracted to me act like that, when a man comes on to me and be like a pervert to me, it makes me feel asylum actually, because it's not only me, because I think beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And the beauties come from within, because you can see a lot of beautiful women, but if you so shallow to that everything that look good to you, that you want to get it, then that I feel sorry for a man, especially a seasoned man, an older man. When you're young, I can see that. But as we get older, our age, that's kind of sad to me. It's kind of a sad situation.
What you got, Wayne? Yeah.
You know, there's a book by Bishop George Bloomer called The Little Boy in Me. And it's an awesome book. And part of the book, there's a level of understanding the degree of a man. He said the fresh meat seeker. And the fresh meat seeker is always looking at a woman as a piece of meat.
Yeah.
And I remember I was up preaching and I shared a part of my life that when I was younger, I was attracted to red bones. and I shared in detail about, that attraction. And then so some gentleman decided to say, well, you attracted to my wife. I said, bro, I was talking about a season in my life that I was at the time. And it's like when my hormones was getting the best of me. And I think we all as men, we understand that level that we're at. And as my wife alluded to, that you grow and you become more mature and you get out of that particular mindset, and so, and it made me feel some type of way that when I shared my story, because I learned something, you can't talk about anything until you get free from it.
Yeah,
Because oftentimes if you talk about it, you're still bound to it. There's a measure of shame.
It is.
When you get free from it, you can really, really talk about it and express that, And so when you start dealing with how you looking and view women, it's like I have a mother, I have daughters, I have a wife. And it's like, and so I look at that as that I honor them, I respect them. So I don't want a woman to ever be in my presence and me just undressing them. I don't want to do that. And then when I see men who are around me, I can peep game a mile away.
Yeah.
I be like, man, bro, you making her feel very, very uncomfortable. And I remember being somewhere and this lady who didn't even know me came near to me because she wanted me to protect her, because somebody kept on stalking and just coming at her in public, And I'm like, man, bro, get away from her, just get away from her, because there's a level of respect and protection that we got to have for our women. And that's big.
Yeah.
I think y'all come with maturity.
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, definitely come with maturity. And what he was saying earlier, when it comes to, like, with me, at one point in time, I used to be that flirtatious person, you know what I mean? Just that street mentality, it comes along with the territory. When you out, you hear it in the music.
Yeah.
In our mind.
Yeah.
Go out and find the nicest thing. And after living in those behaviors for so many years, you know what I'm saying? Okay, now you got a wife, and it's like now you got to retrain yourself, you know what I'm saying, your mind. But it's one thing to hear somebody else tell you why you need to do it, opposed to coming to an understanding in your own mind why you need to be doing it.
Yeah.
Me, I came to that understanding that, you know what, I don't want to hurt my wife.
Yeah.
I don't ever want to put her through no pain that I wouldn't want her putting me through.
Right.
So I train my mind when I see women, I see them as my sisters. And if I ever get to the point to where something look nice to me, you know what I mean? Either I'll walk away, honestly speaking, you know what I mean? I just train my mind to think about different things, because I know it ain't right. That's just like any of us, right? We all go through many different thoughts. Many different thoughts go through our head. It depends on what you grab.
Yeah.
It depends on what you grab. Whatever you grab, it will come to you.
Let me.
Can I mention one other thing?
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say one of the things that I noticed also is that, and maybe it's maturity, maybe it's the growing, is that beauty changes as you get older. So for me, if a woman approaches me or whatever, for you might be beautiful physically, right? But the moment you open your mouth, now it's a whole different ballgame. And the thing is, you got to compete with my wife. So my wife has a track record of all the things that she's done that make her more beautiful to me. Like for my children, for my, you know what I'm saying? Like raising a child who's top 1% in the country, just starting businesses together, just all kind of different things.
Traction looks different.
The scavenger bird,
you
know what I'm saying?
So,
So your beauty on the outside, like you're not even approaching. There's a different level of beauty that you haven't hit. And if you know I'm married and you're still approaching in that way, then now you don't even look as beautiful as you did before, because now you're willing to violate something that you think that you want to get something, and you don't know. It sounds crazy.
I'm gonna come back to that because I don't want to leave that too. I'm gonna come back to that, but I want to get Tanya's response. What'd you have?
I was just going to say there's a difference in the level of attraction and the level of perversion. So seeing people on the street or seeing a beautiful woman on the street and seeing that she's beautiful, or even being attracted to that woman because we are human, or that you are human, and have an attraction, that's one thing. Perversion is taking it to a deeper, more negative level.
Yeah.
So when you are somewhere and you're feeling that sense of perversion, that's the person who's not going to respect your boundaries, who's not going to respect the ring or anything that you have built with your spouse, and is going to come and try to basically destroy it by any means. So that's a difference. When you feel that, that's when the strong black women step in real nice. Hey girl, how you doing? That's all we got to say. And they will get on their way. But it's a difference in seeing a beautiful woman or seeing a sexy man and be like, oh, hey, he looked nice. Or we joke, hey, you see that? yeah, I peep that. You know what I'm saying? But once it gets to where it's a perversion, that's a completely different thing. That is something that you have to fight. That's an enemy that you're going to have to fight off together.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Those are character and personality traits that we're talking about when a person struggles with his or her own identity as well as their insecurities. And so you find yourself seeking out things to fulfill those things. And a lot of times as we have habits that of fulfillment, and those fulfillments don't get fulfilled, so we go looking for it in other things in other places, right? Brother Henry said something. I want to be a little bit of a devil's advocate, or a little bit messy, right here. There are women, though, are attracted to strong men and men that are in relationships and in marriages that are strong. What do the men, how do we deal with that as married men and as strong black men? Now we gonna do our part, but from a woman's standpoint, how do y'all deal with that? How do y'all deal with women being attracted to your husbands or your boyfriends and things of that nature because they do what they're supposed to do with you?
I can fight. No,
Yeah. That comes from the soul. That comes from the soul right there. That comes from the soul. Netta, what you want to say, Netta?
Wow. Right, child, please. I think I need a sip of water. From my perspective, in the line of business that my husband is in, as far as being a barber, there were a lot of instances that he couldn't see. And there were a lot of things that I had to bring to his attention. There were times where he was the barber at home, and okay, I go to work, our children are at school, but that was his job. And I had to remind him that accountability is so important when you're putting yourself in that situation, because again, that one, you probably are not, can see it. I said, but that's why God gave your wife some eyes. I can see. And I told him, I can tell him, I can walk in a room full of people and I can point out the women that are attracted to my husband. He's not looking for that, so he says he doesn't see it. But again, I'm able to see that. But back to what I was explaining about his line of work, there were times where he would cut women's hair. And to him, it was just more like that. They're just the client. I said, as a married man, you should never have yourself in a situation with a woman that could go in and put something out there that's not even true. And now you're spending all of this energy to defend your character when you know it's not true. For one. I said, for two, as a wife, yes, I trust you. But some women can be so cutthroat and conniving, and they don't care. They just outsiders looking in and see what you have, and at whatever cost. They will aim for that. So my advice to him was to never put himself in that situation again. Before, in the beginning, it was an argument because he couldn't see the perspective that I was coming from. But when I laid scenarios out, like, yo, you never want to put yourself in that kind of situation, and we've grown from that. So for me,
it'd be hard for us to see sometimes.
It is. You know why it's hard for us? Because we got tunnel vision. Like we're focused solely on what we're doing, and we're not looking around at the subtle movements and the subtle sayings and all those things. And women are in tune to that, just like we're in tune to men that do it. Just what Pastor Fricks just said. We're in tune to men that do it. It's in our nature actually to do these things. It's up to us, though, to hold ourselves accountable, kind of what you're saying. And then if you have a spouse, a significant other that loves you like that, they're going to make sure you're okay. They ain't going to let you go down that rabbit hole like that. And we just have to listen. That's our problem. We don't like to listen. Men, we don't like to listen. Just like when Mom was saying, you got to mature to that. Because before that, you'd be like, hey, it ain't even that serious. It's no big deal. But at the same time, it is a big deal.
Come on, Dr. Thomas.
Here she go.
You said y'all got tunnel vision.
You should, yeah.
So, when a woman is telling you, you can't feel y'all don't deserve that?
Can I answer this?
Wait.
Because you also got discernment.
Yeah.
And everybody.
Okay. Listen. Listen. So here's.
Okay. I'm back with her.
All right.
In the spirit.
Look.
Now.
Again. Okay. Look. When I'm speaking of tunnel vision, we don't care. We just don't care. Women, even if they throw themselves at you, we ain't got time for that because we got Rwanda at home. We got Rwanda at home. So I ain't got time for all that drama.
Okay.
I want to say this. You know, my wife oftentimes mentions, because I'm in ministry, I pastor, and I pray for people a lot, and I pray for women too. You know? And one of the things that I'm big on is my wife being present with me when I'm encountering a woman. So that nothing gets twisted at all.
Yeah, you have to.
Matter of fact,
that's accountability, right?
That's accountability.
Yes.
And I'm not.
Yeah.
That is a problem, because you should never have a one-on-one with a woman in a just you and her directly.
Absolutely, right.
That should never be, because that's you're really on dangerous ground.
Yeah.
You're treading on dangerous ground.
Yeah.
And I think just the wisdom of it. My wife oftentimes makes a statement: the anointing is attractive, and a lot of times you have to be the best looking man, but if you're anointed by if you're anointed by God, women are attracted to you. They long for that. I believe Samson was anointed, and Samson attracted the wrong type of women to him, and namely Delilah. You know, and so you got to be careful that. My old pastor said Samson got his haircut in the wrong chair. You know, and it's like a reality. It's like, but you got as a man. If you are a man about business, if you a man that knows who you become an attractive man. You do. It just comes with the territory.
Yeah. I think that's any man in leadership, and any man that's strong and he has the bravado to be who he is.
Any man that got some money too.
I'm gonna go with Calvin, then I go get with you.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
And this is like I've gotten to the point to where, like, you know, I'm secure.
Yeah.
In this area.
Yeah.
What do y'all say about, you know, if your wife had a spa and males come to her spa and she had to do the massages and stuff, you know what I mean? And it's just them in a room. You know what I mean? But this is her job. What do you think about that?
Wow, that's a good question. What do you guys think about that? If it's her job,
it's her job. She got a spa.
You got.
You say too
Right. Yeah.
too petty.
You gotta. I think one, you gotta trust them, and two, you gotta be accountable yourself.
And three, find a new profession.
and find a new profession, because if
you gotta imagine the other going around.
Switch the roles.
And you exactly.
My thing is, for that would not necessarily be first of all, spa, right? I feel like that's a conversation that's had either before you have a spa. So the conversation and agreement comes before you have it. And if the relationship happened after it still should have been had. So it should be to a point where the conversation should have been had, right? Secondly, I also feel that for me, this is how I think about the world. I don't trust anybody in this planet. Not I don't trust my kid, not my father, not my pastor, not myself.
Okay.
More than I trust my husband. I mean, I can trust him with my life. I feel like he will save me before I will save myself. So with me entrusting him so much, right? I personally, I wouldn't feel comfortable with, because I don't trust
other human beings. Yeah.
You know, by myself. A few weeks ago, I surprised my husband, and we got a new bedroom set, and unfortunately, my husband dealt with the death, and he came home, and we had a new bedroom set, and it was new to me because I had to pay a man to assemble this bedroom set, right? And so my mother-in-law, who was on the phone, I'm like, oh, he's coming, this man is coming or whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute, it's a man coming over here. She on the highway, I'm like, can you come over, get off the highway, come over. And it's funny because I know my husband, he does everything. He don't even, if he come home and the trash is taken out, my son didn't take it out, he's like, who's that my garbage, And so when he came home, I told my mother-in-law, I said, she was there, I said, he ain't gonna be excited about the bedroom set. The first thing he's gonna say is, who the put this
right?
So he came in the house, he's so observant because that's his job, right? He's looking around, the first thing he notices when he gets out the car, there's a box outside the door.
Yep.
An empty box. Why is it a box outside the door? That's the first thing he said. What was in the box? Why is the box outside the door? Garbage day was yesterday. Where's the box? So I just kept walking and trying to ignore him. My mother-in-law was looking at me cracking up because I just said this. So he comes in and I'm hurrying up trying to make the bed so he can see the bedroom set. And I'm like, surprised. And he said, where did this come from? I said, we got a new bedroom set. He said, who did it? I said, I paid somebody. He said, they came in here in our room? I said, yes. Do you like it? And then his mom said, I was here. He's like, all right. Yeah. Yes. And it's funny because more than just, because I don't think he has a doubt in his mind that I would step outside this marriage. And I honestly don't have that doubt in my mind. But more than that, he's my safety, right? And so I think that even deeper than that, the safety aspect, because I always think people are like anything, any trigger, anything. Sometimes he has to pull me back and say, it has nothing to do with the fact that I don't want you wearing this and wearing that, but you can't go to the gas station in your sports bra. You can't do that because it's not like somebody can yank you and pull you. You know what I mean? It's a safety thing. So I think to say that it would be the safety thing for me as well. Just because you never know what's going on in people's heads.
Other people's heads, especially when you're making somebody feel good, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like psychologically, you don't know where they at, what they've been through. You know what I mean? And you never know what touch sensations. You know what I mean? You never know what that'll trigger in their mind to where they'll have this obsession with you and be coming back for the wrong reasons.
I think it's important that we be careful in those aspects as well as just not being so vulnerable to unpredictable situations. You can't control every situation. So you have to be visible, you have to be vigilant, and you also have to have your safety there and as much as possible. Chivalry is still in though. My wife, when we're walking, I always tell her, look where you at, where are you positioned at? Because if I'm going to walk through somewhere and I see other people walking, she needs to be on a certain side of me. Because I'm the one that's supposed to be between you and whatever danger is coming. And so there is a sense of you have to always be cognizant of where you are. Self-awareness is easy to do. You just can't be in la-la world all the time. My son walks around with his face in the phone. You can't do that. You can't do that because guess what? You don't know people's intentions. And so to even go to what you were saying, Aisha, to have another man in your home when you're not there as a man, that's a violation. That's a straight up violation because guess what? Right, exactly. But see,
all unfolded in my head like, wait a minute, let me bring this together.
But see, what happens is that, and in that moment, we've forgotten our roles in our marriages, in our relationships, because you just said it. He's there to protect you, right? To make sure that you're safe. And so now you've allowed him not to play his role. And if something, Lord forbid, something happens, then he feels guilty and bad because he didn't get to play his role, but you just got a nice bed.
Right.
And so we're not thinking in those aspects. That's why it's the self-awareness piece. So we got to always be aware of where we are and what we're doing and who we're engaging with. Everybody don't have the best interests of you. They just don't. They just don't.
It's a situation with my wife, and she was around an individual. And she was around an individual that she thought it was just good. He was just a brother.
Yeah.
And he was just a good friend. But I could see something working in him that wasn't just a brother and a good friend. And so when I said it to her, she said, "Oh, not him, not him, not him." And so she did something, and he said something to her about how he felt about her, and he expressed it to her, and it made her feel very, very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But I could see it coming.
Yeah.
And so then he said something that he was going through something, and so she said, "Well, I'm gonna send my husband over there to you to handle that for you." He didn't want that.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was on something else.
Yeah.
And so it's those situations like that we got to be very aware of, because the things that come, the doors that can come open, you may not even see them.
Yeah.
But if your spouse sees them, you better take thought to that.
Yeah.
And know that that's something that really needs to be addressed.
You know, and that one caught me off guard. And I ain't got tunnel vision. And the Holy Ghost. You got that one by you.
He slipped that one by you, huh?
Yeah. He got that one by me, and that's why he got blocked, and he'll never see me again.
When you saw that, was that something that you spoke to?
Yeah,
your wife, put you up. This is what I'm seeing.
I mentioned it to her, but she brushed it off. She brushed it off like, "Oh no, not him."
Yeah.
It has to be the furthest one. No.
Yeah.
I seen it. I know what I seen.
Yeah.
And you know how they say once you see it, you
can't see it.
Yeah, I seen it. You know.
Yeah.
And guess what? He said it one time, never said nothing else again.
I was done with it. I was done with it.
Blew it off like it was.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, I don't think so.
Yeah, because in my mind, it's gonna play out in time.
Exactly. Wow. Well, this guys, this has been beautiful. I always hate to shut it down and to end the show, but man, I think we started something, Kishana. So we'll see everybody back in 2 months. 2 months. So look, before we get up out of here, would you have any last words to say before we get up out of here? Go ahead.
Just one of my clients came in. She couldn't be here because her husband he had to get his foot amputated, and they're in a season in their marriage where their sickness, they losing people. We all are losing people, and my question is, how do you handle when your spouse is in that season of grieving or going through, or you got to take care of a parent, like I take care of my mom. How do you navigate through that?
Yeah,
because it could be it can cause a wedge because you got to put your attention on that.
I'll say it like this, like 14 years ago when my son got shot in the left side of his earlobe and died 17 days later, the people that were at that hospital, some of them was just talking entirely too much. Some of them was just present. And there's a big difference when you're grieving. The last thing that you need is a whole bunch of words. You just need people to be present.
Yep.
Just to be present. And I remember one young lady, she said, "Are you hungry, Fricks?" And I said, "Yeah, I am hungry." "You think your family hungry?" I said, "Yeah, we hungry." She just went and got us some food. Then other preachers was coming up there and they was talking my ear off. And I'm like, "I'm talking to you right now. I'm here. That's my baby battling for his life right now." Then when he died, it's like more words just came. I remember getting angry because so many people were being wordy but not present. And then I recognized that I don't need words. I just need you to be present. And so I would say just know that being present means everything to that family in that hour. Just be present. Your words can be few, and then meet them at their point of need, because they're going to have some needs, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all of that is going to be there.
Thank you. He said it so well. There's nothing else to say. Oh, yes, ma'am. Oh, yes, ma'am.
In 2017, and when it comes to your spouse or something being close to you, me and Eddie, we bounded even closer together during that time, because I had to do all the movement for my family, whether it was making funeral arrangements, take my mother to the hospital for checkups and seeing the doctor and the different things like that, and it brought us closer together. So he was there to just to be beside me. And like Pastor said, it ain't a whole lot of talking. It's just being there, And I was trying to go to work every day. My husband was a couple of years older than me, so by that time he was retired. So you know what? He was spending the night with my mama. Wow. You know, and being there when my brother and when the family needed me, he was there.
Yeah.
You know, when I needed to go to work. So when you're going through something like that, especially as husband and wife, and you love one another, you love your families, stick together. And don't put too much burden on the other one that's going through. If it's like it was my family, he tried to take as much burden off of me as he could and just be there. So I would advise, you know, as married couples to just stick together during that time. It'll bring you closer together, and then be able to do whatever you can to make it easier on your spouse.
Yeah.
They will love you even more for that.
That's what you got.
It was for like an earlier conversation that you guys were having, but it was just about like how to see the difference in a guy that's like seriously taking a relationship like serious, and like he's playing the role perfectly to a T, and you know he's not like really taking it as serious as you think he should be. But you know, since he's like just acting so well, you're sitting here like making a foundation for this man, and then come to find out he's just going to finish the structure with another woman. Like, how would you be able to like tell the signs between a good man and honestly like just some guys?
Yeah.
Believe his actions, not his words.
Yeah.
Believe what he does, not what he says.
Those red flags that you saw?
Yeah.
When you saw those red flags,
That means wrong.
most of the time, at least from what I've seen, and personally, if you see red flags and you try to rationalize the red flag, then you already know, like, you're just delaying the inevitable at that point.
Yeah.
When you start rationalizing red flags, you already know what's coming. And so Les Brown has this quote that says, you don't attract to you what you want, you attract to who you are. So if that's the case, then, you know, men are great with the gift of gab, because we'll say whatever it takes to GTD.
Yeah.
Whatever it takes. You feel me? But she said it best. If you look at his actions, his actions gonna tell you more than what he said. Life is never about what people say. Everybody talks. Life is about what people do. So if you basing it off what he's saying, then you playing yourself from the gate. It should be, if a man is into you, I think it was said earlier, he'll be willing to do anything and everything for you because he don't want to lose you. Right?
Yeah.
But if a man is just talking and it sounds good to your ears, that's what you want to hear. But if his actions ain't matching up, you don't judge people based on what they say. You judge people based on their actions. And we all judge people. So even if you like, yo, I feel like he's the one, whatever, there's a lesson in it for you. That like, don't rush in too soon. Like, what God got for you, you can't rush. No matter what you do, until he's willing to give it to you, you can't rush it. Because he's the one who's going to give it to you. So if you trying to rush God's decision, God gonna show you who's supreme, and then every time he wins. And as far as I know, as long as the earth been here, God is undefeated.
Hold on. She wanted to say something else. Hold on.
Like, I totally understand that, but I'm saying, like, if a guy is acting on what he's saying, and then, you know, just out of nowhere one day, everything it just changed. And
when that curveball happens, what? Like, I know it sounds weird, but when we was in a situation where we was both growing in different seasons. I was getting ready to break up. It was gonna be the most ignorant breakup ever. I was praying. I was gonna break up. It was like some years ago. Well, I know it's not me because I always plan what I was going to do. I hear a quiet voice say, stay. I look up and say, what? I stayed. And had I listened to me, I don't know how it would have turned out. I tell anybody, me and him being together is God. Because it's been times God told me to do something, I did the opposite. But in this moment, I actually listened to him. But when you do this prayer, be willing to hear what God's going to say. Because he's going to say stay, or he can tell you run fast. So whenever you come to that situation, they change or they do something different, pray. Maybe he's going through something. Maybe he's exploring who he is or trying to be a better man. He's on the path to be a better man for when y'all meant to be together. Or he's in the way of the man that's meant for you. Well, you won't know that till you pray to God, because only God knows.
Yeah.
So if you find someone it's going to happen for you, it's going to happen for you.
Yeah.
Pray is part of the process. And when you get there, it's going to be better than you ever imagined. It's going to be worth it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You got to know to the way maker to find the way.
All right. I'm gonna let Keshada make her last comment, and then I'm gonna close it out, and we'll get up out of here.
But nonetheless, my husband always has this saying, and it really irks me, it irritates me, but nonetheless, it's true. He says this thing, he says women give access to sex and men give access to relationships. And so I don't know if you gave access to the sex system, but, and I know it's really difficult. I know in 2024, I know how hard it is. I know. And I've been married 17 years, so it's hard for me to speak on it. But any single woman out there, straight up, any single woman out there, I make the suggestion that you hold on to your virtue for your husband in 2024. That would be my suggestion, because I don't know if you did or didn't. And when I say hold on to your virtue, I mean hold on to all of it. No kissing, no cooking, no, like hold on to
now, wait a second.
Hold on now.
All right. Okay. All right.
I'm so serious. If you're not, I'm not saying don't cook for your man. I'm saying if you're not planning on, what I'm saying is I'm not going to be a wife to someone who's not going to be my husband.
Exactly.
Okay. Right.
You shouldn't.
That's the wifey thing.
So all of it, like I know in 2024, like we date, we date, right? But there's something to as a woman holding on to your virtue and making him earn that.
Amen.
He absolutely must earn the right to be inside your body. And if you don't make him earn that, then it's not to sound bogus, but you don't have the right then to feel bad about what you gave up. You feel me? So moving forward, hold on to your virtues. Yes, man.
So I'm gonna end this thing, because if I don't, y'all gonna want a pillow, and y'all can't have a pillow. I'm gonna say this, and then we're gonna get out of here. Is that I talked about self-awareness earlier. Nothing abruptly happens. You have to be observant of your relationship from start to finish, because things happen that we overlook because we're infatuated. When we're infatuated, nothing but hormones and emotions are working, and you can't even think clearly. So if you're not observant and if you're not self-aware, it's easy to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And so we have to make sure that we're careful. And I'm going to say this to all of us, is that when we encounter young ladies, we are schooling them, and young men, we're schooling them on the proper way to be in a relationship. Because in 2024, in 2024, our young people are ruining the institution of relationship and marriage. So if we're not teaching them anything, then guess what? They're doing what they know. And if what they know, they got it from somewhere, so they seen it from somewhere. And that's how they are built, and that's how they're wired. So like I always say, when I get up out of here, we all have the ability to change our circumstances only if we focus on what we can focus on. I ask that y'all continue to think about relationships, think about the conversations we have around here, and take it to heart. Like, it's some great information. Episode 1 was great. This was awesome. And even the next one is going to be even better than that. So don't just say we had these conversations and not use those and apply some of these things to your life. It doesn't apply to everybody. So you know where you are in your relationship. If it applies, use it. If it doesn't, no harm, no foul. So again, thank y'all for coming out for Love Balance 2. We're done.